When a woman starts to miss you, it's not by accident. It's not because you forced it, begged for it, or tried to manipulate her emotions. It's because something about your presence, your energy, and the way you carried yourself left an imprint on her. You see, making a woman miss you is not about playing mind games. It's about creating a presence so strong that your absence is felt deeply. It's about mastering a few simple yet powerful behaviors that make you unforgettable. And the truth is, when a man knows how to do that, he doesn't have to chase attention. Attention naturally finds him. Let's start with the first and most misunderstood way: giving her space. Most men panic when distance starts to grow. They think, if I don't call her, if I don't text her, she'll forget about me. But that's not how attraction works. You see, constant availability kills desire. When you're always there, always responding, always trying to stay on her radar, you remove the mystery that fuels emotional connection. Women are emotional beings. They need to feel something in your absence to truly value your presence. When you step back, when you stop trying to fill every silence with your words or presence, something interesting happens. Her mind starts to wander. She starts to wonder where you are, what you're doing, who you might be thinking about. That curiosity slowly turns into longing, and that's when missing you begins. But understand this, it's not just about disappearing. It's about creating balance. You give her space, but you don't withdraw with resentment or attitude. You do it from a place of self-respect. You do it because you have a life, goals, and passions that don't revolve around her. When a woman sees that, she feels both admiration and curiosity. She starts to think, what makes this man so at peace with distance? Why doesn't he need my attention to feel validated? That quiet confidence is intoxicating, it's rare, and it's something every woman feels drawn toward without even realizing it. The second way to make a woman miss you is by becoming a man of purpose, a man who wakes up every morning with direction, with something he's working toward. Because let's be honest, no woman misses a man who's idle, who spends all day scrolling, waiting for her to message first. But she will absolutely miss the man who's busy building himself. When she sees you growing, improving, becoming better each day, she realizes your energy is not ordinary. You're not just another man seeking validation. You're someone she can't easily replace. Purpose gives you gravity. It gives you depth. It gives you something magnetic that pulls her in. When you're chasing your dreams, when your focus is on your goals, your discipline, your growth, she feels your absence differently. It's not that she misses your attention. She misses your energy. She misses the way you inspired her without even trying. And that's powerful because it means she's emotionally invested in the version of you that keeps evolving. She starts to feel like if she doesn't keep up, she might lose access to the world you're creating. That's when missing you becomes not just emotional, but almost spiritual. The third way to make a woman miss you is by leaving emotional fingerprints. You see, women don't miss men. They miss how men made them feel. You could spend hours with her every day, but if she doesn't feel deeply connected when she's with you, she won't think about you when you're gone. But if you can make her laugh, make her feel seen, heard, understood, if you listen without judgment and speak from authenticity, you become memorable. Every conversation, every shared silence, every look, those things matter. When you're around her, don't be distracted. Don't be halfway in and halfway out. Be fully present. Look into her eyes when she talks. Listen not just to her words, but to the emotions behind them. Create moments that feel safe, genuine, and rare. Because once she experiences that, every time you're gone, she'll crave that same emotional security. She'll miss your calm, your understanding, the way you make her feel at ease. And here's the secret. Most men never reach this level of connection. They try to impress instead of connect. But when you connect, you don't have to do much else. The feeling you create becomes the echo that stays with her long after you've left. Now, the fourth way to make a woman miss you is by embracing unpredictability. Humans are drawn to mystery. When you're predictable, you're easy to read, and what's easy to read becomes easy to forget. So learn to be a little unpredictable, not by playing games, but by keeping your life exciting and spontaneous. Don't always be available at the same time. Don't always respond with the same tone. Sometimes surprise her with silence, and sometimes with something thoughtful and unexpected. When you're mysterious, her mind starts to fill in the blanks. She starts to think about you even when she doesn't want to. She'll check your stories, revisit your texts, and replay memories trying to decode what's going on in your mind. That mental engagement is powerful. It's what keeps her emotionally invested. But remember, unpredictability isn't about manipulation. It's about authenticity. It's about not being afraid to live freely, to flow with your own rhythm, instead of trying to control the outcome. When you do that, you give her something no one else does: emotional variety. And trust me, that's something no woman forgets. Finally, the fifth way to make a woman miss you is by mastering silence. Silence is one of the most underrated tools in emotional attraction. When used correctly, it can speak louder than words. There are moments when you don't need to explain, don't need to argue, don't need to chase closure. You simply become silent, not out of pettiness, but out of peace. When a woman senses that your silence isn't coming from anger, but from emotional control, it stirs something in her. She starts to realize you're not the type to fight for attention, that you're perfectly comfortable walking away when your energy isn't being valued. Silence gives her time to reflect, to replay conversations, to question her actions. It's in your silence that she begins to remember your presence. It's in your distance that she realizes how much she enjoyed your closeness. And when she reaches out again, it won't be out of obligation. It will be out of genuine longing, because silence creates contrast, and contrast makes emotions real. You see, the art of making a woman miss you lies not in what you do to her, but in what you build within yourself. You become the man she misses not because you manipulate her emotions, but because you awaken her respect. You show her what calm confidence looks like. You show her what peace feels like. You show her what real connection, balanced energy, and emotional control look like in human form. When you carry yourself with that kind of self-assuredness, women feel it. They notice the difference between a man who needs validation and a man who simply exists in his power. The first one tries to make her miss him by forcing attention. The second one does it effortlessly because his energy lingers long after he's gone. So many men lose themselves trying to hold on to someone who was never meant to stay. But when you focus on yourself, when you elevate your standards, your presence becomes something she can't ignore. She'll miss the way you carried yourself, the way you spoke, the way you made her feel understood without saying much. She'll miss your silence because it was never empty. It was peaceful. She'll miss your distance because it wasn't avoidance, it was strength. She'll miss you because you were the calm she didn't know she needed. And here's the ultimate truth. When you become that kind of man, you don't just make one woman miss you, you make everyone feel your absence. Friends, lovers, even people who barely knew you will remember you because your presence had weight. You didn't blend in. You didn't chase attention. You attracted it naturally by being rooted in who you are. So if you truly want a woman to miss you, don't focus on her, focus on you. Build a life that excites you. Stay mysterious, stay grounded, stay purpose-driven. Be present when you're there and peaceful when you're gone. That's how you become unforgettable. Because at the end of the day, a woman doesn't miss the man who tried to impress her. She misses the man who left her feeling something she can't explain. She misses the energy that brought her peace. She misses the depth that made her feel safe. She misses the silence that spoke louder than any words ever could. And that's when you'll know you didn't just pass through her life. You left an imprint. You became the standard she'll measure others by. And once a woman experiences that, she'll never really stop missing you. When you understand the art of emotional distance, you realize that missing someone isn't about time or frequency. It's about energy. You could see someone every day and not miss them when they're gone. Or you could meet someone once and think about them for years. The difference lies in the emotional imprint you leave behind. And that imprint is built through awareness, control, and subtlety. It's not loud, it's not forced. It's something that grows quietly in the background of her mind, whispering reminders of your presence when she least expects it. You have to understand something about attraction. It's not built in noise, it's built in silence. It's built in the pauses between conversations, the gaps between messages, the distance between two people who once shared a spark. Most men destroy that spark by rushing in, by filling every gap with words, by refusing to let the flame breathe. But the strongest flames are the ones that have oxygen, the ones that are given space to burn freely. The same goes for emotional attraction. When you allow her to feel your absence, when you stop crowding her energy, she starts to feel the void that only you used to fill. Every woman will subconsciously test your emotional strength. She'll pull back to see if you'll chase. She'll stay silent to see if you panic. And most men fail those tests. Not because they're weak, but because they don't understand what's happening. They think silence is rejection, when in reality, it's an opportunity. When she goes quiet, she's not always losing interest. Sometimes she's checking to see if you'll lose yourself. The man who doesn't flinch, who stays calm, who keeps living, working, smiling, evolving, that's the man who gets remembered, because his stability stands out in a world full of men who crumble under emotional pressure. You see, when you master your emotions, you become rare. And people miss what's rare. In a world where everyone is loud, reactive, and desperate for attention, calm confidence becomes magnetic. When you can look at your phone and not rush to reply, when you can sit in silence without feeling anxious, when you can walk away without bitterness. That's power. That's the kind of energy that lingers. She'll start to wonder what's going on inside you. Why aren't you chasing her like the others? Why does your silence feel heavier than someone else's words? That curiosity turns into thought. And thought turns into longing. There's something mysterious about a man who doesn't reveal everything. The man who doesn't overshare, who keeps parts of himself sacred, who speaks less but means more. He's unforgettable. When you give too much too soon, you rob yourself of that mystery. You give her nothing to wonder about, nothing to think of when you're gone. But when you hold something back, not secrets, but depth, she feels it. She senses that there's more to you than what you show. And when you leave, it's that more that she starts to miss. Your silence becomes her mirror. It reflects everything she feels but doesn't want to admit. Maybe she misses your voice but doesn't want to seem needy. Maybe she replays your words in her mind, wondering what you meant. Maybe she scrolls through your old messages, reading between lines that never existed. You're not doing anything. You're just being. But your energy continues to live rent-free in her mind. That's the kind of power that doesn't fade. It only grows with time. And time is your greatest ally when you understand patience. Most men rush the process. They think they can make a woman miss them overnight. But emotions don't work on demand, they simmer. They build slowly, invisibly, like water before it boils. Every moment of distance is another moment she spends wondering, questioning,